But I just happened to be flipping through channels yesterday and caught the back nine of the LIV event. Have you seen one?
I saw some of the stuff, especially on the Netflix special. It's kind of more along the lines of like how we like to play golf.
Yeah, exactly. I was really blown away. Like the first thing that I noticed when I flipped on the channel was I thought it was music they were playing over the telecast, when in reality it was house music, DJ music that they were playing on the golf course.
I love it.
Yeah, these guys are wearing shorts. Just look like they were golfing like we golf.
Yeah, and having fun.
Yeah.
Which I think might bring better golf.
I would think so. It was definitely more watchable to, I would say the average viewer, and their format's a little different than traditional PGA Tour golf. It just made it more fun.
I know when I first heard about this, the LIV was headhunting players, if you will, and offering them boatloads of money to come play on their tour. And that generated a lot of controversy because people were saying, well, now you're not being loyal to the place that brought you there. And so some people were like, I understand why they're going. Other people weren't. I think Fred Couples came out and had some pretty harsh things to say. Jack Nicklaus and some of these guys were saying some things. And it was easy to get behind what they were saying. And then to find out there's some backroom deal going. What is actually happening?
Yeah, well, to me, there's a couple things in play here. And first off, you can't fault these guys for wanting to go out, take a product, repackage it, and improve it. I think
100%.
We should all be trying to do that.
Most businesses kind of come from that type of playbook.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have that, and then that competes obviously with the personal views of these staunch loyalists and traditionalists, and I think that's where the rift was really created. Of course, you had the PGA Tour, and this I think has been going on for a couple of years now. The PGA Tour was very steadfast in saying we're our brand, not only going to compete against you, but we're going to do everything in our legal power to shut you down. I think that there was litigation involved, and they were just trying to outright smear them in the media, but also take them to court.
I'm actually okay with everything that you just said so far until there's this backroom deal all of a sudden now, and everything they said just went out the window, all their morals, all their stances, everything. They drew a line in the sand and they crossed it.
Yeah, fast forward to where we're at now, right? I think it's just been a couple of weeks since they announced that merger. And from everything that I've read in the media, even the players at the highest level of the PGA Tour found out in real time. And I think that the fallout from that has obviously been a lack of trust now in senior leadership on the PGA Tour, the decisions that are being made, the perceived hypocrisy of the whole deal. And I thought it was a really interesting topic to discuss on this podcast because you've got the PGA Tour led by the president. His name's Jay Monahan. And I think he was wildly popular with PGA Tour members right up until about 2 weeks ago when he announced this merger.
And they probably want to kill him.
Yeah, and I think that it's really important to discuss because, as you know, we have something like 170 employees in this company. Ultimately, all of these companies rely on the decisions that we make for their best interest. They look to us, much like these PGA Tour players look to their senior leadership to be led by means of integrity and things like that. So I thought it'd be interesting just to get your take on how does that transcend? Are there parallels in our company? What are your feelings on that?
100%. Well, first, I think the saying that you like to say a lot is stand for something or fall for anything. And it's tough to get people to really buy into what you're doing if they can't trust you. This is a prime example of that. Sometimes hard decisions aren't easy, but they're the right ones. The ones that are the toughest are usually the right ones. And to see someone kind of cower behind closed doors and do something 180 degrees contradictory to what he did before, I'm expecting to see a lot of lawsuits, complete unraveling of the tour because of something like this. And that same thing would happen in business. We would never ask our family, even you, there's nothing I would ever ask a teammate to do that I wasn't willing to do myself. And I mean that, and we show it often. Here's an opportunity for them to show what they mean by what they said and validate it, and then they go behind closed doors and do that. I don't know how you can have respect, trust, or loyalty for anybody who does that. And so I just don't know how the tour stays together through something like that. Even though the brand's strong, I don't know if they'd get through that without taking a major hiccup.
Well, I think that it's important to note too, especially somebody like me, everything I've ever learned in my life, I've had to learn the hard way, the practical way. I hope that this is a learning lesson for me because this just goes to highlight you can lead and do everything the right way 100 times for 100 years. You make one decision and your credibility's shot.
Gonzo.
And I think it's important for us in these positions where we genuinely care about every single person in this business that every step we make has to be thought out and has to be done with the right intentions and has to be transparent and communicated effectively to every single person top down so as to preserve that autonomy and trust.